to both of you. Starting with you, Ms. Maddin, would you state your name and spell it for the court report before beginning your testimony?
Stephanie Maddin, S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E.
I'm not sure that mic is on. I'm sorry, because I can't hear it.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay.
Stephanie, S-T-E-P-H-A-N-I-E. Last name Maddin, M as in Mary, A, D like David, I-N. I'd like to thank everyone, especially the folks that are testifying today, for being here, for sacrificing out of your weekday to be here, and thank you to all EPA officials who've come to hear us all out. I'm going to be first reading the testimony of a client of Earth Justice. His name is Bill Freeze of Michigan. Should I spell his name for the record? I'll be submitting his testimony.
Please.
William, the traditional spelling, last name Freeze, F as in Frank, R-E-E-S-E. He was unable to make it under the short notice and for health obligations that he had to attend to in Michigan. My name is William Freeze, and I am the director of the Huron Environmental Activist League. I live in Alpena, Michigan. For over 76 years, I have lived, except for time in the military in the early 50s, from 1 to 5 miles away from the largest 100-plus-year-old cement plant in North America. Since 1991, we have been fighting to end the pollution from this plant. Not only is it one of the largest, but according to a recent US EPA toxic release inventory, it is the dirtiest such facility by point source pollution in North America. A FOIA that we have obtained compared the city of Alpena to the city of Detroit for criteria pollutants. For 3 out of 4, nitrous oxide, sulfur dioxide, PM 2.5 or soot, and VOCs, the city of Alpena had higher levels of the first 3 than the city of Detroit. I'm just reading an excerpt of his remarks, and I'll provide the rest of them to you. A Rutgers University study of blood in 18 of 24 Alpena residents living near the Lafarge cement kilns found that lead in their blood could be traced 75% of the time back to the Lafarge cement kiln dust. Core soil testing by a team of scientists found that the heavy metals were in the top 2 centimeters of the soil and were not naturally occurring, but were airborne from cement plant emissions and fugitive dust. The dioxin, or Agent Orange dioxin, was found in some of these samples. That could be the reason for the large number of diabetics in Alpena. The lead scientist stated that if he lived here, he would not eat anything grown in our soil. Another large concern is the 450,000 tons per year of toxic Canadian coal fly ash, which is another form of Canadian garbage coming to Michigan. The ash is responsible for over 50% of the mercury emissions from Lafarge, and 96% of that mercury is the most toxic form that will be found in combustion stacks, the oxidized, divalent, and ionic form of mercury. It is responsible for Lafarge being one of the highest mercury emitters in the state, and places the Lafarge cement plant in the top 5 mercury-emitting facilities in the nation. The Portland Cement Association, that represents the cement companies, states that forcing the cement plants to comply with the Clean Air Act rule is too costly and will force many of the plants to close and open the way for foreign competition. As for foreign competition, who would that be? In the early 1990s, an article in The Nation entitled "The Sultans of Cement" stated 4 foreign members of the cement cartel already controlled 75% of all the cement production in North America. They're even more powerful today. Sorry, but wrapping themselves in an American flag and asking us to protect them from each other does not cut it. Those are just it's worthy of Bill's remarks. I just wanted to add additional thoughts. Personally, testifying as a citizen, as a private citizen, not as a staff member of Earth Justice. One of the things that I thought was pretty interesting about the prepared remarks that Kemp Burdette had available at the sign-in desk is that we're all here because EPA is under a draft settlement agreement to take final action on a proposal by December. For those who aren't clear what that means, it means this is not an order enforced by the court. This is a draft settlement. With that being said, there is no actual legally binding reason for the proposal, nor for you to finalize it under the time frame listed in these remarks. So we already know that the proposal would certify premature death, certify lost hours and days at work and school, and certify that people have impaired quality of life from a host of respiratory and related health challenges. So that's bad all by itself, but it's further insulting to know that the agency is toying with the concept and has no legal reason compelling them to do so. You have to answer for that, and that's an answer I hope will be provided to all assembled that took time out of their day to find out why you're doing something you're not legally required to do that will only hurt the people in this room and people that are similarly situated across the country. Your agency won the December 2011 federal court decision, unanimous 3-panel decision upholding the standards, and it said explicitly, no one needs a law degree to understand the words that the standard does not need to be modified in terms of a timeline because they do not believe the industry will undergo irreparable harm.
Ms. Maddin, you need to wrap up.
In conclusion, you have a choice to do the right thing or do the wrong thing. It's really that simple, and I hope you sleep very well tonight.
Thank you for your testimony. If you could remain seated, please. Thank you. Please state your name and spell the court report, sir.
My name is Kemp Burdette. It's Kemp Burdette. I'm from Wilmington, North Carolina. It's about 1,200 miles east of here, right on the Atlantic Ocean. I'm the Cape Fear Riverkeeper and the executive director of Cape Fear River Watch, a grassroots organization that protects and improves the water quality of the Cape Fear River. That's in southeastern North Carolina for anybody who doesn't know. I'm also a leader in a group called the Stop Titan Action Network, which is a broad coalition of 7 citizens-based groups who oppose the proposed Titan cement plant in our community. Over 14,000 people, including over 200 physicians, have signed our petition opposing a new cement plant based on the clear negative impacts to our community's health, environment, and economy. I'm honored to speak on their behalf today, but most importantly, I'm here today as a father of 2 little girls who love to play outside. Titan's proposed plant would be the nation's 4th largest if built. Titan plans to burn coal to process limestone from its strip mine. The facility would be placed on a narrow piece of land between our state's largest river and the Atlantic Ocean. Our county, New Hanover County, is North Carolina's 2nd smallest and 2nd most densely populated. So there would be no escape in the pollution emitted by the plant. 8,500 school children go to school within 5 miles of that smokestack. 8,500 tiny lungs and hearts would be especially endangered by emissions from this plant. Our community is deeply concerned with the EPA's proposed weakening of cement kiln rules that were finalized in 2010. Without strong air toxic standards for cement kiln emissions, facilities like the proposed Titan plant will emit dangerous levels of mercury, lead, benzene, and particulate matter, among others. These toxins, especially mercury, will wind up in our river and coastal waters. Blackwater rivers like ours are especially good at converting elemental mercury into methyl mercury, an especially dangerous form of mercury that is concentrated in fish tissue as it moves up the food chain. Many of the people who eat fish from our river, especially low-income sustenance fishermen, are unaware that the fish contain dangerous amounts of mercury. Children who are fed this mercury-laden fish by well-meaning parents can suffer from delayed development and lower IQs. Particulate matter from cement plants exacerbates respiratory problems, can cause asthma attacks, bronchitis, lung cancer, and heart attacks. Particulate matter is especially dangerous to our community's most vulnerable. Children, like mine, and the elderly, like my father, who suffered an almost fatal heart attack 3 years ago. Given the clear mandate of the Clean Air Act, and in light of the imminent threat to public health and the environment presented by cement kiln pollution, our community is confused about why the EPA is proposing a weakened rules that would save up to 2,500 lives each year. We are baffled that the agency charged with protecting human health and the environment seems to be more concerned with providing cost savings for industry than saving up to $18 billion annually in healthcare costs associated with pollution from cement plants. The Clean Air Act is not about providing cost savings to polluters. It is intended to remove pollution from the air we breathe. In closing, We strongly support the final 2010 cement kiln air toxic standards, and we want them implemented on time. These rules are good for our community, they're good for our country, and they're good for the environment. We strongly oppose any weakening of emission limits, any backsliding on monitoring requirements, and any life-threatening delay to the implementation of the 2010 rules. I was just really struck, we had two young ladies that spoke today, and I've got two daughters, and these two young ladies said they were 3 years old, which is the age of my youngest daughter, when these rules were initially approved, and here they are testifying in their 20s. I'd be proud for my daughters to be here testifying in their 20s on this, but I really hope it doesn't come to that. I really hope we can push this thing through on time and save lives and save healthcare costs and do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Burdette. Mr. Burdette, Titan, is that in council name?
Right.
Yeah, for me. Very good. Any questions? Thank you both for your testimony. Thank you very much.